So I just watched the movie Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky. So it's the movie, coming from Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brother. So I have read the book, link to the video right here or there. Oh, link to the video right here. And it's based on the book, but it's not really the full story of the book. Kind of is, but so essentially, in the book, Red Schuhart goes like 3 or 4 times in the zone, I think, where in the movie it's his last, quote unquote, last getting into the zone. So we only follow, it's not implicit that it's Red, it's just a stalker, but he has a daughter named Monkey, just as in the book. But that being said, the 3 main characters don't really have names, just titles, essentially. So you have the stalker, the professor, and the writer, essentially. I really enjoyed the movie. There's a lot of things to unpack. I'm not going to be able to do that in just a video like this. And also, I feel like there's a lot of people who's done just that, trying to get exactly all the meanings behind the movie, but I'm just gonna talk about some meanings that I've gathered here and there. So there's a lot of Christian imagery in the movie. I don't know if it's complaint about the Christianity or it's just he's a Christian. Yeah, I would need to look more into it, but what I enjoyed though is kind of the question of faith against rationality. So, you have this long monologue done by the writer who's questioning, the faith of people, and people have lost faith. And he's saying that this is not a good thing or something like this. So I don't know if it was critical of the religion or if it was kind of a, people should be more religious or whatever. This is something that I've not fully understand actually. What I liked also is that, the writer is always the first one to go everywhere. And I felt like, as a society, we always kind of sacrifice art before anything else. I don't know if it's on purpose in the movie, but I feel like everything that's happening in that movie is deliberate and has a meaning behind it. And that's why also, I cannot touch on all the subjects that were touched in the movie just because there are so many things. And as I said, once again, I feel like everything is deliberate here. Everything that you're seeing has its reasons why it's there in the movie, actually. And also, yeah, so back to that all art thing, it's how we're kind of eating the artists, the critics killing the art in a way. So it's about not only movies, but for everything, because in the movie they're talking about music, essentially music and literature. But I feel like Mr. Tarkovsky was doing kind of a similar thing, talking about cinema. And I like the fact that it comes from USSR, because, at this point in time there was art was being controlled by the government. So I really enjoyed that, I don't know how they were able to do that, to pull it off, with everything that was going on there, to pull off something like this that is so critical of the powers, of the men in powers and everything. So I really enjoyed that also. Yeah, and I feel like also the movie is a big commentary on art and censorship. So kind of the relevance of censorship in art. So once again, coming from USSR, I just don't know how they were able to put it up, but yeah, it's actually impressive. And So one last thing that I really liked from the movie, I like that the characters are breaking the fourth wall without really breaking it, because they're talking to each other, but they're staring directly at the camera, just as I'm doing right now. But they're just talking, expressing their feelings, their fears, and everything directly at the camera, even if they're talking to somebody else. So on with kind of the story of the movie. So the Stalker is there to bring people into the zone, but here, it's clear from the start that there's this room that can grant you a wish. So the Stalker is taking a lot of people there to have a wish, essentially. So in the movie, we're seeing the writer and the professor with the Stalker there to make a wish, go to the room. In the book, there was this big glowing sphere, and the Stalker had to make a sacrifice of somebody else, so a human sacrifice, to get his wish. Yeah, we could say that this is kind of biblical, with Abraham and his son trying, having to sacrifice his son to do work, God's bidding or something. So in a way, now that I think about it, the book could be a bit biblical, but it's more subdued than in the movie. In the movie, it's quite clear, there's a lot of Christian imagery throughout the movie. You have at one point the writers putting a crown of thorns on his head, just like Jesus Christ. So yeah, once again, sacrificing the art before everything else, going back to what I said previously. I really enjoyed that we got to see the getting into the zone. This is not something that's very explained in the book. They're saying that it's controlled by the government, they're watching the roads getting into the zone, but here we got to see them actually getting into the zone with all the police looking out and so on. So getting back to the story, so here we don't know if it's alien or whatever. There's no junk being left behind. It's just a meteorite that fell to the earth. And yeah, weird things starts happening within the zone of the impact. Essentially, I'm saying it's a meteorite, but we don't know if it had alien background or whatever. It's just, it fell through the sky and there it is. There's no visit, it's just the event, essentially. And yeah, so weird things are happening within the zone as well here. It's a bit weirder, I think, than in the book, because here the zone changes every minute or so. So there's a lot of weird things happening, and usually people just dies in the zone. So something that we don't see a lot in movies actually is the storytelling being done through imagery rather than dialogue. And I really liked this in this movie. There's not a lot of dialogue, which is kind of a good thing, because I watched the movie in Russian with English subtitles. So if there were to be too many dialogues, I would have, having a hard time to just read through the whole movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed that the storytelling was more through the imagery, through what we were seeing, than through dialogue. There's still a lot of dialogues, and the story moves with the dialogues, but also through the imagery, as I said. So on with the spoiler section of the video. So if you've not watched the movie and you want to watch it, I would suggest, stopping the video right there. Or if you've not read the book, go and read the book, even if they're different with the ending of both of them. But yeah, on with the spoilers. So I really feel like the Stalker here is kind of a messiah, with how he's trying to keep humanity on the right track by having the humanity still keep its faith and hope, and keeping the magic alive with the room, you know, granting a wish and things like this. And also, I felt like, you know, near the end we see Monkey moving some stuff around the on the table with just her mind, and I felt like this was a commentary on, you know, the younger generations being kind of better than us, and, you know, being the future of us or whatever, but, you know, being better just because she's kind of the next thing in evolution or something like this, which I really enjoyed. I feel like there's more to it, but that's just what I got actually from that last scene, as I said. That's it for my review. So next video that's coming up rather shortly, I think I've got it scheduled for Tuesday, is going to be the Lord of the Ring trilogy review. So I'm going to review the trilogy as a whole, and right after this, so right now I'm watching the Lord of the Rings movies trilogy for the like 10th time or something like this, but I'm watching the videos again, and I'm gonna do a review of that next week around Thursday or something like this. So there's more to come. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.